Are you feeling the pressure now? Because I am. Sorry, I had to turn off the volume there on my computer. I'm starting to feel it in the sense that now it's a do or die. Roma face Ludogorets at home next Thursday, and it's a do or die because they are matched right now, head to head on the table. Whoever wins takes it, moves on, gets second place into the Europa League next round. I think that's actually going to be even better than the Champions League. I'm looking at some of the teams which have dropped down. Juventus will be one of them. Roma won't play Juve or anyone else Italian in that, but then you get teams like Barcelona dropping down, Atletico, and of course, Manchester United are going to take first, Arsenal. So there's a really interesting tournament on the horizon. But the big news today, I think, is just that Roma grinded out a win on a tough pitch away in tricky conditions with a second string or even third string midfield and a lot of Primavera players. So there is a lot to go over. Today I'll be going over the play-by-play, exactly what happened, some statistics, where Roma are right now, what they need to do, and jumping in. We've already got a bunch of people coming in right now. And thanks everyone for coming in. And you know what to do. Give a like, subscribe, all that good stuff before we start. But I feel comfortable, I think. I'm happy that Tammy had a really big game. I think that he needed something. I liked him not just like that he was clicking, but that he was making stuff for himself. There was one play, I think in the second half, where he just took on the HJK defender, and it was simple. It was quick, deadly, and simple. And he just cut in from the right. He did one move and then break, and that was it. It wasn't this complex movement where so much went into it, and then at the final minute, he failed to get the shot off, or it was deflected. No, it was so quick and precise of a movement. And it makes me think of the style that Abraham needs in order for him to score goals. And he's so much better when it is just a simple movement. If you think of like an old school number 9, they didn't do a lot of on the technical aspect. It was just 1, 2, 3 moves, bang, score a goal. It wasn't this type of like CR7, tons of step overs, 1v1. Like it wasn't all that. It was so much more simple and direct. Balas says, great improvement. Yeah, totally. If Fanny says, thanks for the stream. Of course. I couldn't get home in time. I got my hair cut. Got my hair shaved off pretty much a lot today. And I needed to drive home after that. And of course, this game was at what? 3 o'clock? Yeah, 3 o'clock for me. So 9 o'clock Italian time. I get out of work around 2:45, got to my haircut at 3 o'clock, got home by 6 o'clock, and then did all my prep. And now we're here. And some of that prep was even getting, there we go. We got our starting lineups from today. We see Volpato get the start. I was very excited about that one. I thought he played really, really good today for someone coming in that hasn't gotten a lot of time. We see that type of fantasy coming off of him. Don't forget that Francesco Totti is his agent, so he's got some pretty good advice and wisdom along there. Abraham gets to start along with El Shaarawy. It was actually being predicted that Belotti would start with Abraham, but then we see El Shaarawy get the rare start, and he made the most of that tonight out on the left. So this is actually flipped. This shouldn't have Volpato on the left. He started out more on the right. El Shaarawy, of course, as he naturally does, plays on the left. Kamara gets the start, I believe his third start in a row now, and Cristante holding with Pellegrini as the other midfielder there. And I actually think this is wrong. Today was more of a 3-4-1, 3-4-2-1. So this came from World Feed. When CBS or whoever doesn't, they stream matches, they don't have their own commentators doing every match. It gets sourced through something called World Feed, and they will make the formations. But this one is wrong. So it should be a 3-4-2-1 with Zalewski a little bit higher, Cristante and Matty more of like a 1-2, not exactly a double pivot, but Kamara played a bit higher today, and he did so good with his direct passing, off the ball movement, was very effective. And Pellegrini played as a true trequartista, and he did, I thought, one of his best games of the season so far, finding so much space for himself and creating a lot of opportunities for his teammates. Mancini, Smalling, and Vigna. Vigna also getting the rare start there. He almost got a goal for himself as well. But it is good to see, even if these players don't have a long-term future with the club, it's good to see them keep their legs fresh because it keeps their value there. It also keeps them from being a buzzkill on the sidelines. Some of these guys can affect the mood of the team when they're not getting any minutes, but at least the fact that he's still included somewhat in the team is a good thing because Roma needs all the depth they can get. Of course, Salik is still out. Karsdorp just coming back from injury. Vigna balled out. Zion said, best game I've seen from him. Yeah, he was getting up the pitch. He was feeling himself. It's very important to remember that Vigna is an Uruguayan international. He won the cup in Brazil the season before he came to Roma. He won, I think it was Palmeiras, and won it. And he was the set starting left back for that team. So what we might have seen thus far in his season and a half, which hasn't been so great, I think there's more to come. And the way that Mancini has developed over the past year is a testament to that players can and they do take time in order to become their end product. And just because they don't have a good first season, a young player, doesn't mean that they're dead and gone. They sometimes just need time. Sometimes they need one of the most winning managers in Europe to turn their career around or turn it on the rise. So hopefully that becomes a success story. I would love it if Vigna continues to improve and play important matches, even if it's just rotational. You can see how important it is to get other players off their feet from time to time, like Karsdorp, like Spinazzola. Sorry, computer. I'm using a different type of. It's not a stand at all. I want to call it a stand, but it's not a stand. It's up on a makeup box because with my regular tripod, it makes it too far away. So I like that I have this. This is just a temporary solution to a long-term problem. But anyway, let's get into. Got a good crowd here, guys. So thanks for coming in. Drop some comments as well. Nice to see. Got over 10 people now. 12 people is very, very good. Write in some comments. I'm going to go over the play-by-play of the game now. Okay, so my rundown. So Roma visit the artificial turf on HJK in Finland in need of a win or a draw in order to keep hope alive for staying in the Europa League. Of course, the Giallorossi entered this one with an injury crisis. They're winless in their last 4 European games, which is their worst run in 3 years. Struggling for fitness heading into this one, guys, was Matic. Pellegrini had a knock that he was recovering from. Dybala, of course, is still out. Salik, as I just mentioned. Ibanez pulled out at the last minute. Last night he had stomach problems, which is why he did not feature and missed out. And Zalewski was lucky to return after having the flu. Now, this is a funny one. I should make this into a banner. 6 out of 7 Italian teams won this round. Guess who didn't? That's right, Juventus. So Milan, Inter, Roma, Lazio, Fiorentina, Napoli, but not Juve win. What's the last time you can remember that happening? I would love to see if that's ever happened. If 6 Italian teams won in Europe, but the only one not to win was Juventus. For most of my life, it's been the opposite. It's been Juve wins, everybody else loses. So that's just been the theme. Anyway, Faticanti makes his debut. Volpato gets the start. In the 4th minute, HJK works well inside the box, but Smalling comes across the 6-yard line to block it. A few seconds later, Rui makes a good save off of a far post corner as the player lost his mark, and his mark was Cristante. But then Cristante then hits a header of his own off of a corner after Pellegrini whips one in the 20th minute, but it doesn't go in after there's this mad scramble around the box. It's almost put in by Vigna, but it's too crowded in the area, and it just gets deflected out. In the 22nd minute, Mancini picks up a yellow card, which is not good because what that means is he will miss the match against Ludogorets. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this, the match against Ludogorets is next Thursday, 3 p.m. for me, and it's a do or die for Roma. If they want to get second place, they have to beat this mystery team from Bulgaria, who happens to have a lot of Brazilians on them. But no excuses. Have to take it to them, play Roma's game. What is Roma's game? Anyone? No, I'm kidding. Defensive, close down space, hit them quickly, hit them on the counter, and make it deadly. That's what Roma needs to do in order to get that big win in Rome against Ludogorets. In the 23rd minute, El Shaarawy makes a good run down the left wing. Volpato, of all players, is bombing forward. It comes across, hits him. He lays it off to Pellegrini, but that one is also blocked. I see some comments coming in. I'll jump to them as soon as I'm done with the rundown of the match. So that's the 23rd minute. Then by the 26th, a few minutes later, Abraham fights off his mark on the left side, cuts in and shoots from about 22 yards out. That one's blocked, but it is a great effort from Abraham. Very simple from Tammy. Cuts in and shoots. 2 minutes after that, 28th now, Pellegrini's corner is converted by Cristante. Good one there, but it's called off. Later, VAR sees that Volpato had gotten in the way of the keeper and took him off of his footing. Then 5 minutes before halftime, Pellegrini plays in a massive ball from over 50 yards out. This was heck of a pass by Pellegrini. And Tammy gets big to score a thundering header. That was a very, very nice play by the both of them. Thought they showed up real big tonight. This is just his third now, Tammy. Last year, 27. But it is one that ultimately reminds us so much about the quality that he offers. And when Tammy is feeling himself, that he can be very influential. And tonight, I thought that he played. That's not our guy. Whereas I don't even have a Tammy Abraham. That tells you something about his season so far. I don't have a Tammy overlay here. I've got this guy. I've got that guy. I don't have Tammy though, so I'm slacking on that one. After this match, I should have. Honestly, he deserves it. So that takes us in to the end of the first half there, guys. In the second half, Tammy restarts. He gets onto the ball early. Opens up the half with a shot after possessing the ball off of an HJK mistake. It's a nice shot, but too high. A lot of power behind that one. Then in the 54th minute, who else but Hetemai? Hetemai, guys. He's back from the dead. Scores against Roma at the Olimpico, and now scores against Roma in Helsinki, Finland. The Serie A journeyman, he started the movement, then opens up for the pass and beats Mancini, who's unable to block it. And just a reminder here, Hetemai is a Serie A journeyman, played for Brescia, Chievo, Benevento, Regina, and he's now 35 years old. So it's a player that Serie A vets, those guys who've been following the league for a long time, one that we really know. But that goal lit a fire under Roma, and then they start to press. They start to move players up the pitch. And in the 62nd minute, El Shaarawy hits a hard shot from the left side of the box, and it gets deflected in for the second goal by the center back there. And Roma retake the lead. There was some confusion whether Abraham had scored that or not, but on the replay, it shows that hard, low shot by El Shaarawy was deflected. And there was nothing the defender can do. Just too quick and powerful for him there. Okay, 63rd minute now. Pellegrini finds some really good space in the middle, gets a shot off, but it's a little bit high. And then the 78th minute, he's pulled off for Bove. A lot of Roma fans really like Bove. He's a Roman youngster. He's somebody who loves to get up the pitch. He's showing a lot of confidence whenever he's played. And then in the 79th minute, though, fireworks here. It's an incredible hit. One of the purest strikes. Leaves his foot and must have gone like 500 miles an hour. And massive celebration. I think the crowd at HJK was completely bombarded. They were like, oh my gosh, this is one of the best European goals ever. But then sadly for them, what happens is that Brown's goal is taken away. Brown. Who is this guy, Brown? He's actually the first player from Papua New Guinea to play professional football in Europe. And actually, he was a laborer for a part of his life. Interesting. He moves to New Zealand from Papua New Guinea as a teenager and moved through the ranks in New Zealand professional football before getting noticed. And then by HJK, he joined in 2020, and he's been with them since. Crazy story for Brown. And what a hit, honestly. Incredible, but it's called back for a foul on, who is that? I don't have who made the foul. I forget who it was. It's called back. Anyway, yeah, That one's called off by VAR, and Roma are saved. Roma continue actually to get a couple more opportunities. Eldor almost scores in the 90th minute, but the touch is just a bit too heavy. We see the return of Kambula. How important will he be before the World Cup with Mancini being out against Ludogorets next week? He's going to be really important, I think. And he's going to have to spring into it. There's no time to waste now. But I trust that Kambula will be. He's had a lot of injury struggles this past season, so it stinks for them. The head-to-head is coming up once again Thursday. That will be. Thanks for the comments here, guys. Here we go. Mohammed said, Cristante did not try to stop the ball going through against us. You know, Mohammed, I have to say that Cristante has done a lot better in, especially against Napoli. He had a terrific match. I didn't watch him with the same eye as I did when he was playing against Napoli, but it was very good. His anticipation of the incoming pass and the player receiving it and stepping to that ball and disrupting the attack from there has been really good from Cristante. So you have to give him that credit there. Is he going to be this player like Granit Xhaka who's sliding and winning headers? No, that's not him. But what he does offer, I think, is he can play the simple passes. He can stay in a decent area where he can watch his mark. Is he going to be this roving defensive mid again? No, he's not. And I don't expect them from him. He's a bit more too forward thinking of a player. I don't think that that's part of his mental skill set, honestly, to be that type of player or physical. Ifani, what's up, Angelo? Thanks for joining in, man. Ifani says the game against Ludogorets is going to be crazy. Hope it gives the same feeling that last Bodo Glimt game gave. We need to win the game in the first 45 minutes. Yeah. I remember a lot of us were nervous about Bodo Glimt, and then Roma, the real Roma, showed up and totally outplayed them. I'm seeing a lot of people joining the chat now. Keep writing in the comments. Guys, give this video a like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Thank you. And thank you for joining me tonight. I know it's a little late. It's 8:06 p.m. where I am. I'm sure if you're out in Europe, of course, it's almost 2:06 p.m. So hopefully you got to get some rest. Drop this stream. Go to bed. Anyway, yeah, thanks, man. They left their game back home. Angel said, despite the game being called off, Cristante header was good to see. He's been under scrutiny later. Yes, he has. And I think a lot of it's sometimes deserved and sometimes not. This is Ben coming in from Discord. What's up, Ben? He says, what are your thoughts on the youngsters we got to see today? Mourinho's comments about playing more youth after the game. Yeah, let me jump to this last quote that I have here. So I think this is a good time to go through Mourinho's post-match comments. And I'll leave that one there as I just want to say, Volpato has been integrated very well. I like that Mourinho has not rushed him, especially when Roma's attack has had issues clicking. You don't want to just throw a player into the fire the way that it had to be done with Zalewski last year. Instead, you want to integrate them little by little, let them get a feel of what's going on, let the first team, the dependent on first team, get control, and then you add. It's like adding what do you call like a topping on top of a gelato or an ice cream. You wait until everything is fine, and then you put him in. Because what you don't want Volpato or Faticanti or for these players have to face is that stress and then it getting inside their head because they feel like they're not playing good, and then they lose their confidence. And that's not the way. But Volpato seems to me like this guy who has a really strong hold on his emotions, on that social aspect of the game, as well as the physical. He can really outthink his opponent. He's creative. He can make a lot from out of nothing. He can run at the defenders in front of him. He can break down the lines. And I think that's something really, really important that Roma needs right now, is that type of game. You see him get the flick on for Pellegrini in the first half. I think that's around like the 40th minute. And that's an intelligent play. That's one of a guy who has a high football IQ. And I believe in Volpato. I want to see more from Faticanti as well. And as Mourinho says here, Cherubini was happy to be on the bench, as was Cassano. So we'll be looking for those guys to play more. And I think Bolde will continue to play more as well. So I'm going to go through some of these Mourinho comments today. He spoke to Sky Sport Italia, and he said, I'm satisfied. Before the game, we knew the Ludogorets result, and that any result would leave everything open for next week. but there's pride. You always want to win, especially after losing the most recent Serie A match. Then he said, we played well for long periods. Volpato had his first start. Faticanti made his senior debut with his beloved Roma. There were no injuries, only Ibanez because we always have a surprise on match day. He was taken ill and remained in his hotel. Once again, some stomach issues for Ibanez. So as I said, we need to survive in this competition, and that means reaching the final game still alive, ready to face Ludogorets at home, and we need that victory. And he continues. It's an accumulation of games, of fatigue, and our situation was under pressure from the first defeat to Ludogorets, even more after the unjust defeat to Betis. We felt that this almost moral need to represent those people who came here from Rome, who saved every available euro to make the journey with their beloved Roma, so that we had to repay them for that. And it's true. A lot of these working class people, they spend everything they have to make this journey, whether it's by train or by plane in this case, and support the team. And how many times have we read in the news, Roma have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 fans traveling outside of Italy to go to these games. It's an incredible thing, one that's, I believe, unique to Roma in Europe, and one that just defines their fans. So it's really, really cool to see. I had the luxury of, it actually wasn't a luxury. It was a very dangerous situation I got myself in, going to Milan as an away fan on a train of Romanisti who were like just a little bit older than me, in like their young 20s at the time. I was 19. It's a long time ago. And it was nuts. Being on that train, going to Milan, and the support. I mean, it took these kids 8 hours to get there. Regional train, not high speed, not Italo, not Trenitalia. Regional train, making every stop, every freaking 5 minutes. It takes forever. And I'm sure they were drinking a lot of Sambuca. They were. Anyway. Okay, he says, then on bringing up youth, to get to Ben's answer here, throughout my career, I was working at clubs that had big champions, so it was difficult to let young players come through. It is wonderful to see their joy at being here. Cherubini was so happy to be on the bench. His chance will come, so will the opportunity for Cassano. And there's that banner there. He said, it makes me very happy, and I think it's pleasing for everyone at Trigoria. It's just as important they don't lose their heads, as that is too easy with the modern generation. And we need help from their families to keep their feet on the ground. I was thinking about this last couple of days, like the impact of social media. It's too easy with the modern generation, Mourinho says, and we need help from their families to keep their feet on the ground. I think it's so easy, more than ever, in that you could make one debut for the senior side, right? And all of a sudden you got people coming out of the woodwork. All these people who are like, oh, great job, we love you. Who, and direct messages from whoever, people looking for what, and just nothing good, right? And the impact is just like amplified. Maybe in like the 80s, right? You had, football's always been insane, but it was localized, and now it's internationalized, and you have so many hundreds of thousands of people trying to contact you for who knows what. And I think it's very hard for young players to keep their feet on the ground and to block out the noise. It's going to be very hard for like 16, 17, 18-year-old players, 19, whatever, young age. So just wanted to say that. Got some comments coming in. Let's see. No, I don't. Guys, write some comments if you're hanging out. No, I do. Angela said, what do you think of a defender to the likes of Yerimina from Colombia? Angela, I think that if a defender does come in, it's got to be one that is seen as a prospect, like one that. So right now, I feel very comfortable with Smalling, Ibanez, Kumbula, even, and Mancini, and those four will be the next wave. But if you add a guy, let's say like Mina, or in my opinion, player I really like for bad reasons at this point, Scalvini. If you add in a player like that, then you've got a rotation, because there will be a life after Smalling as he gets older. Right now, Smalling's in the prime of his career. He won't always be. And one thing about sustainability for a football club is knowing who comes next and getting Smalling to groom that type of player. So I don't think that it needs to be this dominating in their prime player, but one that is good right now, shows a lot of promise, and one that displays certainty of being a starter in the next 3 years, I would say, or next two to 3 years. So I think that's where my head at. But speaking about the Mercato, to bring that up, I want to ask you right now. I'm going to put this banner here. Is the Roma glass half empty or half full? And I want you watching the stream, wherever you are, I want you to answer this for me. I want you to write a comment. Is the glass half empty or half full for Roma? How are you feeling right now? Do you feel that there is the energy to go on and achieve, let's say, Champions League qualification? Or do you think that this is what it is? And Roma, they're showing all they are. This is all the tricks that they have. And it's just going to be a season of up and downs, unpredictability. Or will Roma improve? And is just the very beginning? Answer that. And if you're watching this on a recorded, if you're watching this late after this has been live streamed, put that in the comment as well. I've got one in here. Ifani says the glass is half empty. So give me your reasons too, guys. Saying we need good signings. And I also want to pose this question. Who is the one player? Who is the one player? The one player you want Roma to sign in January? The one player. I'm interested to hear what everyone has to say about this one. I tell you who it is for me. It's Rodrigo De Paul. I don't even want to give like a grand introduction or nothing. It's De Paul. I think that this team would greatly benefit from a guy who's been in the league before, somebody who's not being utilized to his capabilities by his club where he's at right now, and one that can drive the attack from more of like a playmaker, creative point of view. That's my guy. And I find that it's realistic because he's having problems with Simeone. He's not settling in too well at Atletico. And I think that he could come back and be a dominant force. If I think of Wijnaldum and De Paul in the same midfield, come on, how could you not get excited about that? Dex says Antonio Conte. That's funny. Mohammed says, I think we can bring CR7 for half a season, but now I believe our player I believe in our players will sometime second half of the season. You're saying you believe in your players the second half. Okay. It's a funny shout for CR7. Imagine this guy does come. And I saw somebody post on Twitter, what could possibly stop Napoli this season? And somebody quote tweeted it and said Cristiano Ronaldo. I thought that was pretty good. Oh man. we didn't do stats. What am I doing here? And I've got the Europa League banner, not even using it. So silly. Let me get this banner out of here. Okay. So the shots off today. 18 for Roma, very good. On target though, only 4. That's less than 15%. No, that's less than 25%. Mathematicians, help me out here. 4 shots on goal out of 18. It's not great. Possession, no surprise there. Roma let HJK have the lion's share there. Bunch of fouls by Roma and HJK, both 10 and 12. Nothing significant about that. Just the shots on target is not so bueno, my friends. Okay, let's jump to this is what it's looking like right now. So Roma's got to get up there, right? Got to get that second place because the Europa League is going to be so insane come this year. You got teams dropping, like Barca, Atletico, and I can't wait for that. Would Ronaldo be a starter if that happens? I don't know. That's a great question. If Ronaldo did come in, the Friedkins were like, we want to boost the commercial revenue of AS Roma and sign one of the most high-profile players that there's ever been, and you get Ronaldo in, does he start? I mean, he's got to if you're paying the money and he's healthy, and it's for half a season loan. There's definitely he's not going to come unless there's certainty of him being able to play like week in and week out. But I think that you would definitely see someone like Eldor move. Then you'd have Belotti, Abraham, and Ronaldo. And Ronaldo probably playing on the left, depending on what El Shaarawy wants to do this winter too. I think would play a hand in that. Ben's got the math skills here. It's just 22%. 22% of all shots were on goal today. Angelo's not a big fan of Zaniolo. Zaniolo's conversion rate is really low this year, but I want to take the game against Napoli and say that he did a tremendous job, worked very hard, created, drag the ball out wide to stretch the width between Napoli's midfield and defense, put that ball across the face of goal. He had everything but a point. So I felt really bad for Zaniolo against Napoli because he deserved more, and Roma deserved more than what they got. Ben says, how do you see Solbakken impacting the squad? If Solbakken does come tonight, for instance, you would have seen him start on the left, probably in place of El Shaarawy. I don't think that anyone comes in and nobody moves. So right now he has a couple goals, not a lot in Norway. But from the way that he played against Roma last season, I think is a good indicator that he's a baller. He's a big time player, or at least he seems to have that DNA. Can I say that a guy from Norway scoring only a couple goals is like this phenom? No, but I could see that in his DNA, he has the player qualities to become something good. And I think with Mourinho behind him, you get this athletic forward, shifty, and wants to get shots on goal that Mourinho can do very well with a player like that. So I think I think that's a very interesting option, especially on a free. And we know that Roma's been doing very well with the free transfer business. One player that I've seen rotate around the headlines is Aouar from, I believe, Olympique Lyon. And that's an interesting player to me. So I also read an article talking about the center midfielders that Roma missed, quote unquote missed, because who knows the truth. But Koopmeiners, Xhaka, Anguissa, and Fratesi, all of Roma's targets have been doing very well. So it's not Pinto's fault. I mean, he's the guy who's been scouting them with Mourinho, and the fact that he wanted them and they turned out all to be doing very well is a testament to the job that he's been doing. It's just it's a shame that we couldn't get that over the line. The Koopmeiners situation was really hurt by Dzeko's late intentions to want to leave to Inter Milan. And that was unfortunate because if Dzeko didn't move and didn't request that, one, we would have been stuck with Edin Dzeko. But two, Koopmeiners would have been signed. I believe that was very close to happening, or I want to think it was. And now he's been a dominant player for Atalanta, who's doing so well. I really rue that missed opportunity. Xhaka has been doing very good for Arsenal, I'm told. And Anguissa, we don't need to talk about him at Napoli. And Fratesi, I'm not a fan of what's going on with Carnevali and Sassuolo right now. Them keeping him against his will. Like, he's still doing very well. He's playing his game, but like let the kid go. He's from Rome. I understand if it's Juventus or some other team, whoever it might be, but he's trying to go back to his hometown club. Like, the player's going to want to do that. So you're just like wasting your own time. The money's on the table. And if a team's offering you something like 30 or whatever it was, you take it, because injuries are a big part of this game too. And I'm going to be certain that Cairo, with those 100 million euro asking price for Belotti right before he injured himself, man, I'm sure he could wish he could go back in time and gain that money. Do you think we have a chance going forward against Champions League teams? Mohammed, I think you're referring to the guys that have dropped down, and like Atletico and Barcelona. That's tough. I mean, these are great teams, and Roma is a work in progress. They're not a great team. They're a good team with a lot of potential. So on the flip side, though, if you go in and you play a great game against those teams, the way that you played against Napoli, and those 5 big chances, well, one of them goes in, and then you get to control the match and close it out. What does that do for you as a team mentally if you take up a big win against someone like Atletico or United or Barca, right? I don't want to play them, I'll be honest with you. But if you do win, then it's very good for the overall growth of your team. Forza Roma says, let's go. Non si discuta, si ama. Wasn't happy with the play, but damn, it feels good to win. Yeah, it does. Win always feels good. So I'm happy tonight. I can sleep well. And I'm really excited about Ludogorets. So guys, we're in almost 35 minutes now. Give it a like, subscribe if you're just jumping in. You know, what do they say? They say hit the like button. I don't know, smash. You smash the like button, which means you just click on your phone, the like. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyway, guys, thank you. Keep writing in comments. I'll keep rambling on for a couple more minutes until things change here, I guess, in the chat. I'm just going to check real quick to check some news outlets, what's going on. Mourinho says, I didn't have fun. Oh, man. Anything else I'm forgetting to mention before? There's been some... Volpato had some comments. Let me go through these really quickly. He said, I'm happy, but we can do more ahead of goal, in front of goal. He was speaking to Roma TV. Sono molto contento perché sapevo che Mourinho mi avrebbe dato una chance dal primo minuto. I was really happy because I knew that Mourinho gave me a chance from the first minute. I look to always coach, to train myself well, and to get better every week. I have to have a little bit of patience, and my moment will arrive. I hope to continue così. So, continue like this. Cosa ti ha detto l'allenatore? What did the manager tell you? He told me to play always the way that I know and to go on andare forte sempre, to be strong always. Play the way that I know and to always play my game is a way that you could translate that. Are you satisfied with the match, Volpato? He says, yes, I'm very satisfied. We can still do more in front of net. However, I think that we played well. So, okay, nice diplomatic short one there. And that was the Roma TV. So, guys, let me know what you think. If you like this stream, what more you want to see as well. Let me know definitely what you want to see, what you like, what you don't like in the comments on YouTube as well. Not just here, but also, once the video is uploaded and all that stuff. Thank you, Angelo. And I hope to see you soon. I'll definitely see you, Angelo, at Roma Club New York on November 6th, that Sunday. And if anyone is planning on going to Roma Club New York, it's going to be packed. So definitely get there early. I suggest getting there at least an hour early. So it'll be in the private room in the back. And that'll be a lot of fun. So, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night. Hope you like this post-match. Give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're tuning in late or after this has been recorded, give a comment as well what you thought. So, thanks, guys. Ciao. Forza Roma.